Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. Now I'm excited to be part of a blog hop happening. It's the Earth Day blog hop. It is by Stampendous and Arnold Grummer. Arnold Grummer is a paper making shop, and I'll link both the shops down below in case you guys want to check out the blog hop. It's happening now through the 30th of the month. But for today, I'm excited. I get to make some handmade paper, and I get to share it with you. This is the Arnold Grummer's Papermill. It's a complete paper making kit. Has everything you need to make handmade paper, and it was sent to me to try out, and so I thought we would try it out together, and I have to say it was so much fun. I went a little crazy making papers, but who knew you could make your own paper? So this is the kit. You get your guidebook here, and you also get a template along with a instruction sheet, which is fantastic. These here are called couch sheets, which are they're like thick papers that are very absorbent. You get a white plastic screen, and then you get a gray plastic screen, and then you get a drain rack here. Also in this kit here, it comes some sparkle, which is lovely. You get some iridescent shavings, a huge bag. This is a press bar, and then you get a sponge, and then you get this wooden hand mold. It has velcro attached to it. It's not that big here. You can see the size. It will make a 5x8 sheet of paper. So all you do is you flip it around. The velcro attaches and unattaches, but we're going to set everything aside and we're going to make some paper. Super duper easy, you would not believe. To do this, you could use a sink, or I'm using a plastic tub. You just want something that's able to submerge your hand mold in. So you flip it upside down, and then you first add the white screen, and then you add the drain rack, and you secure it to the box using the velcro. Lovely. Now you flip it around, and then you just place it inside your plastic tub here. I'm going to add a little bit of water. You want to add some water to where it covers the screen portion, just enough to cover the screen portion on the bottom there. Okay, now we're going to use our, we're going to wipe off our desk here. This is our measuring template. You want to use any kind of scraps of paper that you have. I mean, any kind you have. I even used bills, guys, to create paper. I went a little crazy. I used my credit card statements that I normally shred to make paper. But you just add it to your blender, and with about a cup of water, you blend it for about 30 seconds, and then you just pour it directly into your mold. Easy peasy, that's it. This made green paper, which is super pretty, and I'm just using my fingers to kind of even it out. Once it's even, you just lift it up from the water. You let it drain for just a few seconds. And I'm actually going to use, you could use a cookie sheet if you wanted to, but I'm going to use, to catch the excess water, but I'm going to use the lid of this container here. Okay, now we're going to remove the Velcro straps and carefully remove the hand mold. And we're going to lift up our drain rack that's underneath along with our screen. We'll move this out of the way. And we're going to take the gray screen and place it right on top. Next, we're going to take our sponge. The sponge came with this kit, and you just basically press out or press away all the excess water. Super easy to do. Just keep pressing, and all that water will come out. I'm going to remove this lid here. And just press, press, press. Clean up a little bit and press, press. And then you rinse. Okay, once we have that done, we're going to remove the gray screen. And then I'm going to use the couch sheets here. It's like a real thick absorbent paper. I'm going to flip it around. And so my screen's on top, and I'm going to do a little bit more picking up water with my sponge. We'll just rinse it out a couple times. And we remove our top screen here. It removes very easy. And then I'm going to take another piece of the couch paper, place it on top, and we're going to this is a press bar here. We're just going to press down and let that paper absorb any excess water that's on our handmade paper. And then you remove the top piece, and then you can remove the paper, and that's it. We made handmade paper. Isn't that so neat? This one here kind of reminds me of the old-fashioned tile floors, but I use some dark colors of paper. But I'm going to save these too. I'm going to let those air dry and we can reuse them. Okay, let's make some pink paper. So I grabbed some pink scraps. I'm just kind of filling in my measuring template. I went through my trash, even found some pink papers. Okay, I blended it through my blender. Now we're just going to pour it inside of our mold. And for this one, I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle. Sorry about my head. So we're going to take some of the iridescent shavings. And you could probably put this in your blender, but I didn't want it to go down my drain. So I'm just kind of sprinkling some in here, and I'm going to swirl it together with the spoon. This is where that water inside your container helps even it out. Okay. Now we're going to lift it up, and I'm warning you, I get kind of close to the screen, so it's going to go up and down for a minute here. Okay, I'm going to remove my container and grab my lid to place it on, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Just remove our hand mold here, grab our drain rack, and then we'll place our gray screen right on top. And then all we do is press away with our sponge, taking away that excess water. I mean, how easy is this? You know what? I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with our first, with our green handmade paper. But I went crazy. I even made paper with credit card statements. Normally I would, like I said, I would shred those, but I went crazy. I kept thinking, well, what else can I blend away? Next, here I am just taking the couch sheets, placing it on top, taking away that excess water. We're going to flip it around, remove our screen, and then we'll add one more of the couch sheets right on top. Use our press bar to press away any excess. But I had so much fun creating my own handmade paper. Pressing away, and then it lifts off beautifully from the couch paper here, and we've created our own handmade paper. I think the pink is so pretty. I didn't even think it would be that vibrant, but it was so pretty. So these are the two sheets I showed you how to make, and then off camera, you can let them air dry, or you can use an iron between some fabric to dry them, and that's what I did here. And it dried beautifully. It took a little time ironing, but they dried nice. So these are our handmade sheets, and then this is the one I made with my credit card statements, and then this is the one I just used with scrap pieces of paper. So super fun and easy to do. So we're going to make some cards today. So since this is textured paper, we're going to bring in the Misty, and I'm going to be using some Stampendous stamps. This here is a beautiful floral stamp. It is super duper pretty. It is called the Small Hellebore. I hope I'm saying that right. But I'm going to ink it up with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And again, since this is textured, we had to stamp it a few times just to get a clear impression. Isn't that flower so pretty? I'm also going to stamp the same flower on my green handmade paper. We'll ink up our flower one more time. We're going to do a little layering for some dimension. Okay, once we have our images stamped, I'm going to fussy cut the pink flower, just the flower, and then I did fussy cut out the green flower all the way to the leaves. Now I want to have my leaves with a little bit of the definition, so I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers just to add a few shades of green. and they colored beautifully on my handmade paper. They didn't, the colors wouldn't spread out as much as I wanted them to, but I think the outcome turned out so pretty. I did color in the center with my yellow zigs. So here's some close-ups here. Super pretty. I thought if I used my water brush I could spread out that color a little bit more, and it spread it out just a little bit, but it did dampen the paper. It absorbed, the water that I was adding did absorb into the paper. Okay, next we're going to flip our pink flower over. I'm going to add some foam squares behind it, and then we're going to layer our pink flower on our green flower. This is going to give us a little bit of dimension. I still am in shock that I made handmade paper. It was so fun. So that's our flower image. Okay, next I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and 2 stitched rectangle dies, and I'm going to cut out a frame. Once that's die cut out, I'm going to use my credit card paper we made. And since it's Earth Day, I wanted to go super organic. So I'm just tearing the edges of my handmade paper, and I'm making sure that it'll fit behind my frame. This way I know it'll fit on my card base. But when you tear it, I think it gives a very very natural look. We're going to do a little bit more here on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to flip over my handmade paper and use some glue to attach that to an A2 size card base. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Lovely. This one has a lot of sparkle. And then I did add foam tape behind my frame. We're just going to remove the release paper and place this in the center of our card base. And I think we'll put our flower in that corner. I'm going to add a little bit of glue and attach that to my frame. We're going to tear off a little bit more on the side. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, next we're going to add our sentiment. I'm using the stamp set from Stampendous, and everything that I used today, guys, I'll link down below in the description area in case you want to check it out. But I added "You Are Fabulous," and that finishes off card number 1. Here's some close-ups so you can really see that handmade paper. Super neat. Okay, now for my next card, since it is, again, an Earth Day blog hop, I thought we'd use this beautiful stamp set. This is from Stampendous. It's called the Tree Poem. I'm placing that in my MISTI, and we're going to do some stamping on vellum. So I'm using my anti-static powder bag here, going over my vellum, and I'm going to ink up my stamp with my Versamark ink. We're going to stamp that on top of the vellum. And then I'm going to be using some embossing powders from Stampendous. These are actually new to Stampendous, and they are super neat. It's a huge set of embossing powders, and it's called the Floral Garden. There's 14 jars, and they're beautiful colors. They're made to, you could emboss with these embossing powders, but we're just going to heat emboss with one today. But I'm adding the green. I thought about adding the yellow, and then I thought we'll go very earthy. Once my image is covered, we're going to use the heat gun. If I can talk, I'm going to use the heat gun and melt that embossing powder. And then we're going to use the green leftover piece that we used from card 1 for our background. I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and we're going to trim it down to a full size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card front, and it cuts beautifully. I'm going to go around the entire handmade paper piece here, making sure the measurements are right. Lovely. Okay, we're going to attach this to the front of our card base just using our glue. And then for my vellum piece, I was going to use my scissors and fussy cut around the right side of the tree. And I thought, well, that's just not going to look very natural. So I thought we'd do a little more tearing. So I'm going to tear the vellum around the right side of my tree. Give this a real earthy look. And this would be a great masculine card too. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to take my scissors. I wanted the handmade paper to show a little bit more on that left side, so I'm going to trim about 1/4 inch off of my vellum piece here. Using my glue, I'm going to attach my vellum to my card base, and I'm just going over the heat embossed areas here. We'll adhere that to our card base. And after we have this done, we're not going to add very much dimension, so I did want to add a little bit more texture. So I'm using some twine. This is just regular twine that you can get at a hardware store. I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, and then we're going to tie a bow to the left here. Lovely. I'm going to use my scissors and just trim off the tails, kind of straighten up the twine on the left here and right side. And I'm not going to add any sentiment to this card. I think it looks very organic and natural, and I think it's perfect for the Earth Day blog hop. So here's some close-ups of that. You could really see the texture on that handmade paper. So these are the 2 cards that I made today with my handmade paper and the Arnold Grummer's Papermill kit. Super fun. Oh my goodness, you could blend anything, guys. Super fun. And the cleanup was, like I said, super easy. But I encourage you to join the blog hop. It's going on right now through the 30th of the month. I'll leave the links to the Arnold Grummer shop and the Stampendous shop in case you guys want to start there. A lot of inspiration out there. Thanks so much for joining me. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.